Guys, I just got one request. Go easy on me in the comment section.
And he drives it into right center field, hit a ton. This baby is way back. On here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. And today is a special video. I'm going to be ranking 10 of the most overrated players in MLB going into 2020. This is my personal list. You're going to probably disagree with it completely. Let me know your list in the comments below. Let me know what you think I got messed up. But I do want to explain how I made this list and why there are some names not on the list you might consider that should be on the list. And that is because as I looked through the players that I thought might deserve to be on this list, there are two reasons why I didn't put them on. Number one, some guys I looked into. Some names might be Jose Ramirez, Yu Darvish. There's a few guys, even Manny Machado, I looked into thinking they seem a little bit overrated. But then I was like, you know what? These guys are pretty freaking good. You know, Manny Machado's a dude who never gets hurt. He's hitting 30-plus homers. Yes, he's overpaid. That contract is pretty ridiculous, in my opinion, for San Diego. But you know what? The guy is freaking good. And I feel like a lot of these guys on my list are good too, but compared to how people feel about them, compared to how they produce, is what it's all about, that discrepancy. And I don't think there's a lot of people who think Manny Machado is just the greatest player ever, although the Padres pay him like that. I don't think that he has that kind of reputation, and that's why he didn't make the list. There are going to be other guys who are on the list who are better than Manny Machado, but they have this reputation like they're the freaking greatest thing since sliced bread. And another reason why I might leave a guy off a list is because, well, they might be overrated, but then I start to think maybe they're not so overrated. I think most people realize this guy's not that good anymore. For example, Buster Posey, for example, Joey Votto. These are guys who I considered putting on the list, but then I thought, are they really overrated? I think even the casual fan kind of realizes they're not that good anymore. I mean, compared to what they used to be anyway. So that's why some of those guys got left off the list. So let's get into it, and let's do it right now with number 10. And I got at number 10, Roughned Odor. And I know he's exciting. He's electric. He makes great plays in the field. I hear it all the time from Rangers fans and non-Rangers fans. This guy is really good. But is he? He hit 205 in 2019, which is frankly embarrassing. And he led the league in strikeouts of all offensive categories. So he struck out 178 times. Had a 283 on base, which is just terrible. I mean, unless you're hitting 50-plus bombs, then that is not going to work. And he did hit 30, but 30 is not enough when you're hitting 205, and especially not enough when you're considered a really good player, and he's just not that good. In fact, he had a negative WAR. So Roughned Odor, I feel like he's quite a bit overrated. He's in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, Nick Castellanos. This might be surprising because he's a free agent and he's been linked to the Giants. And I've even shown a little excitement over that because, yeah, I'd like to see him in the lineup. It would be fun because he's a nice hitter. But really, if they're going to pay a bunch for him, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. The Giants are in rebuild mode. That move wouldn't make a lot of sense. And besides, he is a little bit overrated. Hence, he's on the list. And, you know, he only had that couple of hot months with the Cubs. He did hit 321. He knocked 16 bombs and only 212 at-bats, which is impressive. But before that, are we just going to ignore that he played 6 full seasons with the Tigers and he never hit that well? He was good, but he never hit over 300. He never put up that kind of performance. He's going to hit you some home runs in the mid-20s. Decent average, decent on base, nice player. He's good for about a 1.5 to a 2 wins above replacement per season. Defensive metrics put him as one of the worst outfielders defensively in baseball. So when you put it all together, he's good, not great. And with all the Castellanos hype, I got to say he's overrated. And I'm putting him at number 9. Coming in at number 8, and it pains me. It pains me to say it. But if you think I'm biased, think no more. Brandon Crawford is on the list because this is a guy, he's got sparkling defense. He always has. He makes great plays. And he passes the eye test out in the field, but at the plate, it's just gotten to a point where it's just not going to work. Now, the advanced metrics even say his defense is not as good anymore. His range is not as good anymore. And even if it was as good, his bat just hasn't been there. He has never been that awesome at the plate. He's got a career 249 average, 316 on base, but in 2019, 228 batting average, 304 on base. 11 home runs. That is not good at all. He just got paid $15 million. Look, I love the guy. In my heart, there's no one else I'd rather see out there than number 35, Brandon Crawford at shortstop. But I got to be unbiased. And I still hear a lot of people love this guy. They think he's awesome. They want him out there. Like I said, I want him out there in my heart. But in my mind, I know that it's going to have to change sooner or later because this guy's just not getting it done. He is very overrated, and I got to put him on the list. It hurts me more than it hurts you. Coming in at number 7, Chris Archer. And I'm not sure how people feel about him, but I still hear a lot of good stuff about him. How he's got this great metrics and peripherals and whatnot. And he's one of the better MLB pitchers. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Yes, he used to be awesome with Tampa Bay, but he's coming off a year where he was 3-9 with a 5.19 ERA. He still strikes out a lot of guys, but the Pirates traded for Archer thinking this was going to be their ace. Number 1, at least number 2. He has been anything but. Yes, there are fans that argue that he's still okay, but I don't see it. I think he's overrated, and I hope that he gets better for the Pirates. But I got to say, this guy has not been pitching well for the last couple of years. He is nowhere near he used to be with the Rays. Overrated. Chris Archer coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, this was a tough one because this guy is still really, really good, but he's just not the top shutdown closer that he may have been a few years back, and that's Kenley Jansen. Look, the guy is still good. I'm not saying he's not. This is not a list of guys who are not good. This is a list of guys who are overrated in my opinion. And Kenley Jansen has an ERA over 3 the past 2 seasons, which is not bad, but it was under 2 the 2 seasons prior. And if you think ERA is trash statistic, let's look at FIP, which supposedly more accurately depicts a pitcher's performance than ERA because it just considers walks, home runs, hit by pitches, and strikeouts. And it ignores balls put into play that, depending on if you have a good defense behind you or a bad defense, it could unfairly hurt or help your ERA. So FIP is just like ERA, except it's supposed to more accurately depict the pitcher and his performance. So his FIP was 4.03 in 2018, which is even worse than his ERA that year, and 3.48 in 2019, still up from the past seasons prior. Even if you look at his other main stats, walks per 9, home runs per 9, hits per 9, strikeouts per 9, they're all getting worse. Even though he is still good, he still strikes out a lot of guys, he's still effective, but I think that he's still considered by many one of the top closers in the game, and I don't think that that's the case. So I'm going to say he's a little overrated, and I'm putting him at number 6. Number 5, and this guy is only here because the hype has been absolutely nuts for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And, there was a time before the internet when, high draft picks were in the minor leagues. They really, the typical fan probably didn't even know who they were. I know I didn't really know who they were that much. Didn't get to watch them play. And there certainly wasn't a whole bunch of hype around them until they actually performed at the MLB level. That's kind of changed now. Now you see a lot of hype in these guys who haven't even picked up a bat at the MLB level, and I'm guilty of it too. I do it for Joey Bart every day. I act like Joey Bart is the next coming of Christ, okay? But he hasn't even played an MLB game. So we don't know how good he's going to be. And Vlad Jr., well, he was okay. Okay, he hit 272. He hit 15 bombs, but it's nothing close to what he was doing in AAA and nothing close to what people were acting like this guy was going to do. He still might do it, but his defense is questionable. He may end up a DH sooner than later, and so far he's been, a good hitter, but not great. I hope he becomes great, but so far he hasn't been, and he's still got a lot of hype surrounding him, so people are acting like this guy is great, great, great. You know what? I think the Blue Jays look really good. I'm not trying to put the Blue Jays down as a team. I think they really look good overall. I said it. I made a video, so Blue Jays fans, don't be mad at me. I'm just saying I feel like this guy's a bit overhyped and a bit overrated at this point. That could change though, but at this point he's in my list at number 5, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Coming in at number 4, Kyle Schwarber. Again, most fans have probably heard of him, even the casual fan. Like he's this pretty big talent in the MLB, which may surprise people that he's really not that great. He's never even made an all-star team. He's got a career batting average of 235. That is not a good batting average. 339 on base career, 490 slugging. That's not elite. It's not bad, especially slugging. It's not bad. He'll hit you some home runs, but it's not at some, really great pace like, your Pete Alonsos, your Cody Bellinger, or even a Jock Peterson. Those guys are going to hit more homers than Kyle Schwarber. He's going to hit you about 30, okay? His defense is even disputed, which means, some think it's okay, some think it's bad, but at the end of the day, you got a guy who's good, but not great. And I think a lot of people think he's great, which means I think he's a little overrated. Again, he's good. I'm not saying he's not good, Cubs fans. He's good, but I think overrated, and I got him at number 4. Next up is Noah Syndergaard, and that is a name that pops. I think even the most casual sports fans know Noah Syndergaard and assume this dude must be one of the better pitchers in baseball. But I don't know about that. He is good. Maybe he's better than good. But he's very up and down. He has long stretches where he gets hit hard and he gets hit often. And his overall stats in 2019, not super impressive, 4.28 ERA. His FIP was a little better at 3.6, so I'll give him that, but it's still not elite. Gives up under a hit per inning, just under a hit per inning. He strikes out just over a guy per inning. That's good stuff, but not necessarily elite. That matches that name, Noah Syndergaard. I expect to be going out there and winning 20 games, with an ERA well under 3, but it doesn't happen. He does have a career 2.92 FIP, which is very good, excellent even, but overall his performance seems to be going in the wrong direction after 2019. I'm just saying, I think he's really good, I really like him, but I think he's overrated, quite a bit overrated, and that's why he comes in at number 3 on the list. 2 more guys, and number 2 is gonna be Bryce Harper. Do not get too pissed, Phillies fans. The guy is awesome. The guy is amazing. The guy is great. But is he $330 million great? Look, a lot of people think this guy's one of the best in the game, and for that type of money and reputation, I mean, he better be putting up serious numbers. And 35 bombs and 119 RBIs are pretty serious numbers. You got an 882 OPS, 4.2 WAR. Nice. But $330 million for 13 years. And that is after a 2018 where he had a 1.4 WAR with a 249 average. So you can't say, well, they gave him that contract because he proved that he can play that well. Well, he actually played better in 2019 than he did in 2018. So I think that the contract is insane. And I think that people think this guy's a lot better than he is. He's good. Please don't get me wrong. That guy is good. I do think he's good. And I think he's even a good defender, despite some defensive metrics not always being in his favor. But bottom line, the Phillies are paying him like he is one of the best players, one of the top 5, top 3 players in the game. But I'm just going to name a few guys who had a better WAR in 2019 than he did, a better wins above replacement. Just a few examples. I'm not saying these players are better than Bryce Harper, but I just want to put this in perspective. Guys who had a better WAR than Bryce Harper include Nick Ahmed, Colton Wong, Lucas Giolito, Yohan Moncada, Shane Bieber, and many others. Again, it's just one metric, and I'm sure you'd rather have Bryce than those guys. But not for 13 years at $330 million. That contract is going to be questionable sooner rather than later, in my opinion. It already is questionable, but I mean, it might start looking bad. I really kind of hope the Phillies can find a way to win a World Series or two during that time. Otherwise, especially if he doesn't perform well, it could be looked at as one of the worst contracts in the history of sports, which sounds a little overdramatic, but you never know what's going to happen. I think it's a crazy contract. I hope it works out for them. I really do. Even though I'm a Giants fan, best of luck to the Phillies and that contract, and best of luck to Bryce Harper, but I think he is quite a bit overrated, and that's why I got him at number 2. And I do realize what he did in 2015, but if we're still living in 2015, then we'll go ahead and give Jake Arrieta a 13-year contract while we're at it, and nobody's going to do that. 2015 is 2015. You got to look at what he's done lately, and he has not done anything worth $330 million bones. But all that said, and I have someone else at number 1, even more overrated in my opinion, is Gary Sanchez. Look, man, Sanchez is great, and the Yankees are so stacked, it might not even matter because this guy's going to hit you some homers, and he's a fine catcher, great hitting catcher. You want him in the lineup. I'm not saying, release Gary Sanchez, but what I am saying is in 2018, he hit 186. With a 291 on base. But let's chalk that up to injury issues. He had some problems. He had some groin pull or something in 2018. Fine. 2019, well, he was better. 232 average, 316 on base. Still not good. Yes, he hit 34 bombs, which resulted in only 77 RBI somehow. You feel like you're going to have more than 77 RBI when you hit 34 bombs, but because he strikes out a lot and he doesn't get a lot of hits, that's what happens. And in the postseason, where it all counts, he was 4 for 31. And really, he's not even known as a very good defensive catcher. I think maybe he's better than some people think, but still, he was an all-star in 2019, considered by many one of the best catchers, considered by many the best catcher in the game. And I'm telling you now, I'd rather have Yasmani Grandal. I'd rather have JT Realmuto. I might take Will Smith from the Dodgers. I'm sorry, but I just don't like, hitters who hit down around 200, regardless, unless you're going to knock me 50 to 60 home runs, then I'll take it. But 34 is nice, 77 RBI. This guy's extremely overrated. I'm sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll argue. I'll talk about it. Let's not be terrible to each other in the comment section and call each other names, but you can definitely disagree, and I'm all for it. But I got Gary Sanchez as my #1 overrated player in baseball. So let me know what you think of my list. All these guys are great baseball players. Don't mean to come after anyone. If y'all want to have a discussion, put it down below. We'll have a civilized discussion about the list, and we'll talk about why I didn't leave guys off, and I'll probably realize I made some mistakes. So let me know below and we can talk about it. Don't get mad. Be glad. Thank you guys for joining me again. If this video does well, if you guys enjoy it, let me know and I'll make more like it. I'll even do a top 10 underrated list if y'all want to. Let me know and I'll start working on that right away. Y'all have a fantastic day. Check the links in the description below. I got a Patreon, I got a Twitter, I got a Facebook, I even got a website, humbabybaseball.com. Check it out. Talk to you guys next time. Have a great day and I'll see you later. See ya! When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye.